School's online till summer. School's online with Blackboard. School's online with Zoom meetings. Hey everyone, it's time to go over some more chia information, and I'm not talking about this kind of chia.
There's a new pet.
Chia.
Anyways, we're heading into industry data now, so I want to go through a couple more things. In addition to providing information on your competitive set, which are those hotels that you've identified as your closest competition, Smith Travel Research also provides industry data. So they'll provide the numbers for all the hotels in your market or all the hotels in your class or in your scale, and you can use those to look at your information compared to those as well. And this information will show up in your star report. So you'll see the information compared to your competition, but you'll also see it compared to the overall market or the overall class or scale that your hotel is in. When they prepare this information for the different markets or classes, they use the actual data from the hotels that fall within that category. But for the hotels that don't participate, they model their data. So different from the competitive set where they use that specific data, they take all the hotels that are in a market or in a specific class, and whether or not they give data to Smith Travel Research, they find a way to use their data. So they either take the data that was given to them or they will model that data. Now, when a hotel goes under a renovation, they sometimes will stop reporting data. It has to be closed for at least 1 month, and then at that point, Smith Travel Research will take it out of the census and they will not have to report data until they reopen. But it's a 1-month cutoff. In order for the information to be sufficient from the industry, there have to be 4 or more hotels that are reporting. So for example, if you want to see the class data that's connected with your hotel, there have to be at least 4 other hotels that are reporting data. Similar to your comp set sufficiency rule that says there have to be at least 3 hotels that are reporting data in your comp set in order to get that comp set data. This is done to protect individual hotel information. Sometimes they have to collapse or combine the scales or markets due to the number of hotels that are reporting. So for example, there might only be 1 luxury hotel in your area, and they may need to combine luxury with upper upscale in order to give you data and have enough hotels reporting for it to be sufficient. So when looking at industry data, in the United States, most hotels will look at the scale category because that separates out independents. And since most of the hotels are branded here in the United States, it'll give you better information. When you go outside the United States, since most of the hotels are independent, those countries typically look at the class data, which has the independent hotels sorted into their specific ADR tier. As far as model data, the United States is the only place where the industry data will be modeled. In the rest of the world, they only use the specific data that they received from hotels. So in the United States, they use the data they receive from hotels and then model data from non-participating hotels. In the rest of the world, they only use data that hotels have given them to come up with the market information or the class information or the scale information. Smith Travel Research requests that hotels submit their information using their local currency. So it's not necessarily going to be submitted in dollars. They then convert this into dollars using a daily exchange rate for daily numbers or the last day of the month for monthly numbers. Companies can request their data from STR in any currency that they'd like. Could be in dollars or euros or some other local currency. I want to do a quick review of some of the things that we've talked about. Chain. The chain is the hotel's chain or brand. Parent company. That's going to be a company that owns multiple chains. So for example, IHG is a parent company, Holiday Inn is a chain. A management company is an outside company that manages a hotel for another party. An owner is a person that owns the hotel or a company that owns the hotel. Asset management companies represent the owners and make decisions on things like renovations and financing. And independent hotels are just not affiliated with a specific chain. Smith Travel Research has different geographical categorizations. From biggest to smallest, they go by world, continent, subcontinent, country, region, market, and submarket. The market and submarket data is going to be the most important to the hoteliers because that's going to be your local information. They also group hotels by ADR. There's the scale category, which has 7 different categories because it includes all of the independents in their own specific category. And then there's also the class category, which only has 6 categories because it takes those independent hotels and puts them into the corresponding ADR level. Smith Travel Research also identifies hotels by location, so urban, suburban, airport, interstate, resort, and small town. When determining your comp set, you usually look at the 4 Ps. Participation, are the hotels giving data to Smith Travel Research? Proximity, are they close to your hotel? Pricing, are they priced similar to your hotel? And product, do they have similar features to your hotel? There's a couple definitions that Smith Travel Research uses as well. Supply equals rooms available, and demand equals rooms sold. You can calculate the occupancy percentage by taking the demand and dividing it by the supply. You can calculate the average daily rate by taking room revenue and dividing it by demand. You can calculate RevPAR by taking room revenue and dividing it by supply. And then finally, you'll need to know how to calculate percent change. That's this year minus last year divided by last year. Smith Travel Research also gives you a figure for an index, which tells you whether or not you're beating the comp set. That's going to be your numbers divided by the competitive set's numbers. They then multiply that figure by 100. If you're above 100, you're beating the competitive set. If you're below 100, you're losing to the competitive set. Smith Travel Research defines a week as Sunday through Saturday, and it defines weekdays as Sunday to Thursday. Weekends are Friday and Saturday. So think of it in terms of nights. So Friday night and Saturday night are going to be those weekend nights at a hotel, whereas Sunday to Thursday is going to be more weekday travel. The name STAR stands for the Smith Travel Accommodations Report, and thus that's why it's called the STAR Report. These STAR reports give information about how you're doing compared to your competition. There will be index numbers that you'll see. There'll be key performance indicators like occupancy, average daily rate, and RevPAR. And then you'll also have ranking information about where you stand compared to your competition. STAR reports are generated in Excel and sent to the properties. They don't include any formulas, but they do have graphs and numbers. Each report is released approximately the same time. Monthly reports are going to be around the 18th of the following month. So for example, if we're in March right now, the March numbers will not come out till April 18th. The weekly reports usually come out on Tuesday night. So for example, if today is Monday, then last week's numbers will come out tomorrow night. In order to use the STAR report, there's some suggestions. You start by looking at your RevPAR, then go and look at your occupancy and ADR. You can easily identify days where you won or lost against your competitive set by looking at your index Anything below 100, you are not beating them. Anything above 100, you are beating them. You can also look at your ranking information. When we look at the star report, there's 4 suggested things you should do. First, analyze. You want to look at your report, analyze the results. Number 2, identify. Identify opportunities for your hotel to make more money. Number 3, develop. You want to develop a strategy to capitalize on those opportunities. And then 4, monitor. Monitor your results and make sure that the changes you made are appropriate and working well. Probably the most important page on the monthly star report is the performance at a glance page. This gives an overview of how you're doing compared to your competitive set. It displays your occupancy, your average daily rate, and your RevPAR compared to the competition, as well as index numbers. It also shows your percent changes year over year. There's different time periods that are included as well. There's the current month, there's the year to date, the running 3-month, and the running 12-month. Another important page in the monthly star report is the day of week and weekend weekday numbers. You can drill down and identify how your hotel's doing on the weekends versus the competition, weekdays, or different specific days of the week. This can give you valuable information as you think about pricing strategies. There's also a segmentation page where you can see the breakout of transient business, group business, and contract business. Again, group is identified as any business that has 10 or more rooms, and contract are going to be things like airline crews. The weekly star report is much more useful in an operational capacity because the data is very recent. Almost all hotels that get the monthly report also get the weekly report. Again, they're generated on Tuesday evening for the prior Sunday to Saturday. Again, the most important page on this is going to be the performance at a glance page, which has your occupancy, your average daily rate, and RevPAR. For the current week, it also includes your index numbers and percent changes. It's also going to have these numbers for the running 28 days as well. Well, that's all for now. See, this wasn't too bad. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.